What's up everyone, Dwayne Pedals here. In this video I'm going to be chatting with you about the gear that I've used for my Girona Spain bikepacking trip last year. I've been getting a lot of questions on my video about the gear that I use. I've also gotten a lot of emails about it, comments on my Instagram channel. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, definitely give me a follow. And if you're new to this channel here, give me a like and subscribe to this channel. Hopefully this video adds enough value to you in terms of packing gear for your next bikepacking trip. So I'm gonna lay down everything on the floor so you can see a nice visual of all the gear. For context, it was a 4-night, 3-day trip in Girona, Spain. I toured around the Pyrenees route, which is a bikepacking or just a trail that actually starts in Girona, loops around on the coast, up through the mountains and back in Girona. It's an awesome trail. More details in the video that I made for it, which I'll leave over here for you to all watch. I did not do any camping on this trip, so my setup was relatively lightweight. Everything was hotel touring, so that made the setup super light, which was really cool because generally speaking, I always bring a tent with me and sleep outside. So this time was a little bit different. I also didn't need to pack a lot of food because there was lots of services as I rode in and out of different towns. But I want to start with just, the technical side of bikepacking. And a lot of that might just seem like writing things down. And where do you do that? You write it down in a simple notebook. I like to always just jot down all my ideas and just compartmentalize my gear in a list. So I start there. And then I like to carry it on over to software. So what I like to do is use software that I'm gonna be showing you called Miro, where I just plan everything out in there. I take everything that's on paper and just put it in there. And after that, there's a few things that I consider in terms of a bike touring trip, which route I'm gonna be using. In terms of the services, I like to plan out where on that route I'll be stopping, and I like to put waypoints on there. So I'll show you what that looks like in the software that I use, and that's gonna be Ride with GPS. So we're gonna dig into this video a lot. So grab some popcorn, grab your coffee, as I have mine right here, and we'll just jump right into it. So here we go. Okay, so in terms of software, I love to use this software that I have here called Miro. It is free software. There is a subscription model to it, but what I love about it is that it's a whiteboard and it gives you an opportunity to just lay down everything from your flight details, your trip breakdown from day to day, and your gear packing that I have over here. So basically the gear packing section to the far right, you can see how I compartmentalize everything from on-bike clothing to camp clothing, all the way down to the essentials like my credit cards and passport, first aid and food and tools. And that's just to give me a glimpse of the things that I'm gonna be needing to bring with me. And I can always have that on hand. What's great about this software is that it is intuitive. So you can have it on your mobile phone and you'll always have it with you no matter what because it's online. And I also have accommodations here too, which is really cool to see. So I just took some snapshots of where I was going to be staying. My main place to stay for the entire trip was going to be in Girona. So I have an Airbnb on reserve already. And throughout each day, I plotted out on the route where I'll be staying at each hotel. So it's just a great way to plan out your trip. So I highly recommend using this software. This is generally how I like to do it. I'm a huge fan of packing. As some of you may know, I've done quite a bit of bikepacking trips in the past. Starting with my first one across the US when I did some pan-air touring from New York to Cali, bringing my entire kitchen sink. And what I've learned over the years in doing different bikepacking trips or any kind of road touring adventures is to lay everything out and then just cut it down in half because most of the time you likely won't be using that gear. This was an interesting trip because I didn't do any camping. This was all hotel touring. So it was for 3 nights across 4 days. And so each area I stayed, I was inside of a hotel. And that meant lighter setup and no camping. So that was pretty cool. It was my first time I've actually done hotel style touring like that before. I usually bring a tent and sleep outside, but this trip was a little bit different. So I just want to just be mindful that, you know, when you bring all this stuff, it's so important to just write everything down. Laying it out like I am right now is great, but you want to make sure you're like, have everything laid out on paper as well. So I like to just create lists, and you can compartmentalize everything into your gear, whether you can do, you know, camping setup, you can do on bike gear, you can do off bike gear, which would be like clothing, you can do accessories, you can do tools, electronics, however way you want to group it, you can do that. So we're just going to start with the very top. I'm strapped to my chesty with my GoPro, so I hope this is a good way to do it. If not, I can get a little closer just so I can zoom in. But let's just start at the very top. So up there, I have the handlebar bag from Revelate Designs. That's the Sweet Roll. It's the 15 liter. I have a couple of different options in that size, that same bag. I have the smaller version, and I have this version. Smaller version is a 12 liter, and this is the 15. The 15 is nice because you could pack a big load in there and then just cinch it down really nice and tight. What I like to do is put Volley straps around it to just secure it a bit more, and it sort of like tightens it up a bit, and it fits nicely in between my gravel bars. So that's really cool. I found that any smaller than that, it doesn't fit much of my gear, and it will start to extrude beyond the bars on the gravels, handlebars that already flare. So this is really good to have. Right below it, we'll just go down a little bit since it's like right next to it. But right below it, we have the spine lock. I have the 16 liter. I like to get a little bit bigger just so that I can stuff a lot of things in there, have extra space if needed. You can always, you know, cinch it down so that'll be a little bit smaller. Right underneath that is a tool cache. The tool cache is a nice little accessory pouch that has everything I need in there in terms of my flat fix kit. So if I get any kind of mechanical when it comes to blowing out a tire, or even I need to like fix a chain, I got a chain breaker inside of there, and in fact I'll just grab it. So you can see I'm gonna have to adjust my camera a little bit or squat, but let's see here. So inside here, I have just about everything to fix my bike. Tire repair kit, we got a CO2 cartridge, I got some cash in here, a tire boot. I've got these wolf tooth pack pliers, which are sweet. Inside of here, I got a fix-it sticks with a few Allen bits that'll take off my front wheel, my rear wheel, and also my pedals. I also have a CO2 cartridge inflator as well, chain breaker, all the good stuff. Back to the Revelate bags, and we'll work our way down. So over here on this side of the bag, I have the Tango. The Tango's nice, it's a sweet bag. I've been using that one for a long time. That's a medium, stores a 3 liter, a little bit tight in there, so I recommend going to a 2.5, maybe a 2 liter if you can. If you need more water, then you might need to get a bigger bag, bigger frame bag, but that stuff's a 3 liter. I can get 3 liters in there, but anything else is going to be pretty tight to fit and squeeze in there. Oftentimes I'll put like a few bars, maybe like a pack towel as well on the other side, but it's a dual compartment bag, and you can squeeze a few of the items in there on the other side of the bag. Right below it is another one of my favorite bags. It's the Egress Pocket waterproof bag. I usually stuff my camera gear inside there, all electronics, so that it doesn't get wiped out by any water. You want to make sure if you're bringing electronics that you have everything housed inside of a waterproof bag, so that you don't want any water to get in contact with your electronics, because that's just going to wipe out your camera gear or any kind of other electronics you have with you on your ride. On the right side of that, I have the mountain feed bag. I got 2 of those, both mounted to the handlebars. And on the left side, I actually skipped one of the bags. Next to the Egress Pocket, I have the mag tank, which is one of their newer bags. It's sweet. It just about fits all of my treats. I usually put my snacks in there, and some gummy bears I pack in there as well. and it just does the job. Let's get a little closer in there. As you can see that gear. So that's at the very top. We have all the bags that I packed. And again, I didn't do any camping on this trip. This was all hotel touring. But if this was a camping trip, I'd still be able to squeeze my tent inside of here. I'm not gonna share the tent in this video, but you'll be seeing that soon because I got another bike packing trip on the radar. So I'll be doing another video similar to this for a different trip. But we're not gonna be talking about that just yet. This is focused on the Girona Spain trip, international bike touring. Let's move our way down to the right here and check out some of the gear. So I did not bring a puff jacket because it was the summertime and in Spain it was really warm, so I didn't really worry about getting too cold out there. There were some days that got a little chilly early mornings, but I also have this rain jacket here that kept me super warm. So I have this Mountain Hardwear rain jacket. It's very nice for misty days. It served me very well, although I did not get into any rain out there. So it was a little chilly some mornings, but I'll just throw it on and took it right off and packed it because it just got really hot. So, but I had that as a backup. Right here next to it, I always bring a balaclava with me. You never know. These things are just like, I don't know. I feel like these are just really good to have. I've had this one for like probably maybe 8 years now, and it's, you know, it's awesome. Next to it, I always bring some arm warmers. Arm warmers are sweet just in case, you never know. You want to just get a little nippy outside, just throw those on, and you could just put them on underneath the jersey. Again, it was summertime, so it was very warm, and short sleeve jerseys was what I was wearing. But if it did get a little bit chilly, and if I didn't want to wear my rain jacket, I'll just throw on the arm warmers. Here I got the Velocio t-shirt. It's like a wicking tee. Super nice to have. A couple jerseys right there. I brought 2 jerseys with me. On to the left, I have some more Velocio gear. These are the mountain shorts that I've had with me, and these were good because I've used these for off the bike gear. So I'll rock with this in town after my ride, and I'll just throw on that t-shirt right there. And then I have these 2 bibs that I also brought with me. On the left of that, I had sandals. I did not bring sneakers. I just, you know, had my mountain bike shoes on and rode. And then when I got into town, I just swapped out the mountain bike shoes and just threw on my sandals, which I wouldn't recommend if you have, I don't know, maybe some foldable lightweight sliders or some other kind of gear. I would recommend that. If you can pack some light sneakers too, I know there's some light sneakers that can fold into a bike packing setup. I recommend doing that. I wouldn't recommend wearing sandals across 3 days. It just, you know, you want just some coverage. I didn't. My feet were exposed. I wore socks with them around town here and there too, just because it was hot. My feet got kind of sweaty, which is gross, I know, but yeah, definitely bring some sneakers if you can pack them in. And if you know, they're lightweight, definitely do that, because you do want your setup to be relatively light. On this side, I have a couple pair of socks, 2 times 2 or 3 on the underwear. I think I brought about like 3 pairs of underwear with me. Don't want to skimp out on the underwear. Definitely bring extra for sure. Moving on to this side, let's go on the second row here underneath the bags. So let's talk about the tools. Again, that's my tool cache that houses everything I need in there. On to the right of that, I have an extra CO2 cartridge, Pedro tire lever. Those are the best tire levers. Highly recommend them. They just, I don't know, these things are just, something about them are just amazing. But very great builds. I also have that Muck-Off C3 ceramic lube. Dry or die. When it's hot and summer out, definitely use dry lube. Wet lube is gonna make your bike nasty and gunky, but to each their own, however you want to do it. I got some more Pedros over here. I didn't bring all of these Pedro Allen levers here. I just brought what I need. So 4, 5, 6 and the 8 are what I needed, so I packed that just in case. And yeah, they're not the lightest, but
you know, loose inside of your bike packing setup, it's not so bad. And you want to make sure you have everything to fix your bike. So that's definitely make sure you do that. On to the left, we have some sealant. Definitely recommend the WTB tubeless tire sealant. The stuff's really good. I have some wet ones in case I need to wipe down my hands when fixing my bike. Never leave home without my beeswax lip balm from Burt's Bees. Keep that on me all the time. And a pack towel. This isn't the one I brought, but this is around the same style. You know, you can use like a wash rag just for when you're doing like your mechanical stuff. I got some Volley straps here. I also brought an extra tire. This is a 700 by 36, I believe. And it's super light, so it didn't really take up too much space, and I kept it buried inside of the seat bag, so no worries on that front. I also brought a extra tube. You can just see I have a couple of Ziploc bags in here, and I just put a little bit of baby powder in there to keep it nice and dry. On to the right of that, I have my photography camera. This is the Fujifilm X100V. Awesome camera. I just got it not long ago, so I was excited to use it for this trip to Girona. I shot a lot of photography with it. It's awesome. So if you haven't checked out the video, it's on my channel. I'll leave the link somewhere over here in the video so you can click on it and check it out later. Underneath that, I have the Anchor. This is a battery pack. It's pretty heavy, but I brought it because you gotta have your gear charged, especially if you're like doing some photography and filming. I also have a GoPro, which I'm using right now to film, but these are the two batteries I brought, including the one that I'm using in the camera right now. I packed this as well. This is my Shimano Di2 charger. So I charged my bike before I went on the trip. Generally speaking, the battery lasts just about forever. I mean, it's you know, they don't really die all like that. So I didn't have it die on me. If you're gonna be going any longer than a week, I definitely would recommend packing it with you. I did not pack it on the actual ride. I kept it where I was staying in town in Girona and came back to my Airbnb when I returned, and all my stuff was in my room, so no worries. I never leave home without my utility knife. I always bring this with me. It's a sweet knife. I forgot who makes it actually. You can see that brand there. Yeah, I'll get you the name at a later date, but it's a sweet knife. Don't leave home without a bike lock. This is the Abus bike lock. Do not leave home without it. You never know where you're gonna go and where you're gonna end up, and if you need to go inside to eat somewhere, if you need to go in and you know, get some food and grocery, and your bike is locked out outside, just the added security is a peace of mind. So definitely bring the bike lock with you. This is pretty light. It's a combo lock, and the cable is pretty thick, so I didn't worry about too much, you know, anyone snapping that, but I'm sure people have the tools to do it. Deaf to all bike thieves. Anyway, I have my Bontrager Race Rocket HP pump. That's my road pump. Pumps up gravel tires just as good. I also have next to that my lighting. I've had the Bontrager rear tail light in the so that hooks to the seat post. And right here is my Cat Eye 300 lumen. I've had that for many years and it serves me very well. No complaints. In terms of nutrition, I was eating in town just about everywhere I ended up, and there were plenty of services on this trip, so I didn't have to think about, you know, food very much, because everywhere I ended up there was somewhere I can just like pull off to the side and eat. So in terms of on the bike nutrition though, definitely recommend packing your electrolytes. So I'm a big fan of the Scratch Lab stuff, so I packed a lot of Scratch Labs, and obviously I didn't bring this entire 24 serving one, but or 60 serving actually. But this has just about everything you need. You know, a bunch of sodium in it, 380 milligrams per serving. You got your what else? Sugars in here. We got 18 grams. It's awesome. And what I like about Scratch Labs is that it's not very hard on my stomach. I've used a lot of other electrolyte sports drinks, and honestly, Scratch does it very well for me. I'm not sponsored by Scratch, but I just like the product, so I use it. I got some Scratch Labs Every Time Energy Bars, I think that's what it's called. And I also have some Cliff Bars. I like the crunchy peanut butters. I also packed some Stroop waffles and Justin's peanut butter for protein, so that you can restore some of that in your legs when you're climbing up these wild hills in Girona, Spain, because there are mountains. So this is a pretty lightweight setup here. And again, it's non-camping bike touring. So everything was hotel based, and that causes for a relatively light setup.
Okay, so I hope this video added enough value to help you along your way with your bike packing trip and your next adventure, wherever that might be. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Again, if you like this video and you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and growing the channel. And I will see you all next time. Peace out.